Hi there, this is Krisha Young, and I wanted to run through a really quick video with you on what you can expect for a human design reading with me. So what I bring to the table with regards to human design is a massive long history of experience in the coaching world and in business world and in life in general. And I bring my own unique design and my own unique knowing and insights and ability to synthesize and ability to be able to see where your truth lies within you, and bring all of that together for you in a way that makes complete sense for where you are in your life. My own personal design allows me to be able to take really weird and complicated systems such as human design and break them apart, split them apart into tiny little pieces so that you can really understand what this is, and but not just that, how you can apply it in your life. Because we all know information is great, but if we can't apply it into our own lives, if we can't experience it and actually use it, then it's just more information. And we don't need more information. What we actually want are systems and tools and insights and knowing so that we can actually evoke the change and the growth that we really, really want. So that's what I'm here as a guide to help you with, as a coach, as a mentor. And human design is just a tool that I use with my clients to help them, learn more about who they are, how they roll, where their saboteurs are coming from, what is their innate energy versus what is stuff that they just piled on over the years from society, from family, from expectations, from all of that. It gives us like a guiding light of where to go. It helps them to really understand how to make proper decisions for themselves, how to hear and listen to their intuition, and how to get out of the monkey mind and to start really trusting the inner knowing that's coming up for them. Usually what happens when I do a reading, if I don't know the person at all, as I'm going through their chart, I'll ask them, does this sound true for you? Is this something that you've experienced in your life? And always I get, oh my God, yeah. Like, this has always happened, or I always thought that way, or, oh my gosh, that's normal for me. And I used to be criticized about that, or I knew it. I had a feeling that I should be going in that direction. It's a beautiful tool to help you to, really see and accept who you are at your core. And there are so many ahas and insights, and everybody who leaves a session with me always feels like, wow, that was really awesome, really amazing. I understand myself better now. And I'm going to take this information and really apply it into my life, because now I know, why I do that thing over there, and why I say that thing, and why I feel this way about those particular things. Now all of this makes sense. That's what happened for me when I first discovered human design. I was like spinning out, overthinking. There was a lot. I was trying all the things, and some things were just not working for me. And when I discovered my design, I had so many insights and ahas and answers into why I operated in a certain way all the time, no matter what. And when I realized that there's a shadow and a light to everything, and was able to then bring in, ooh, there's some, I love this right now. All right. When I was able to bring in these pieces and start to, understand myself better. For example, I have emotional solar plexus, and that means that I go through an emotional wave it's part of my process. And 50% of the population is like this. And before knowing that, what would happen is I would feel like really, really super high one minute, and then I would feel crash down and feel really, really low like the next minute. And the low would be so low. And I thought I was bipolar. I thought I had some real like serious mental health issues. I thought I was like really depressed, really anxious, all of that. I actually was feeling those things. But when I realized that it was coming from my emotional wave, and I didn't know how to like flow in that and how to take care of myself in that. So I was just going way high and then way low and crashing. So when I learned about that and I learned how to navigate my emotional wave, I went from the high, low, crazy ass roller coaster into something that's much more smooth now. And I understand what happens in the high and I understand what happens in the low now. And it doesn't knock me out for days at a time. I don't get into the deep, deep, deep depressive lows that I used to get into, and the crazy ass highs that I used to get into. So that alone, and I have so many more insights that I got, but that alone was something really, really huge for me. So what happens in a human design reading with me is that we go through, in a basic chart reading, we go through your type, your strategy, and your authority. If you go on to something more in depth with me, then we go into all of the juicy fun stuff as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you and take you through really quickly at a high level what you can expect. Okay, so this is a sample human design chart. Hi, I'm over here in the corner in case you wondered where I went. This is a sample human design chart, and this is a manifesting generator. So generators make up about 70% of the population. There are 4 types in human design. There's generators and manifesting generators. There are pure manifestors. There are projectors, and there are reflectors. So the very top line information that you would get in a basic reading with me will be going through your type, your strategy, and your authority. So basically what we're doing with your type here is we are taking a look at your aura, at your energy, how you're meant to work, how you're meant to interact with other people. This is really, really, really important information to know, because there are, for example, like a projector, projectors are here to be guides and to advise, but because they don't really know that, they end up working and being like a generator, and they end up exhausting themselves and getting burnt out and end up having adrenal issues. So this can be really prevented if you understand how to utilize your energy in a proper way. The next is the strategy. So this strategy is very specific to each type. So for example, again, if you're a projector, your strategy is to wait for the invitation. What does that even mean, right? A generator is to wait to respond. What do those things even mean? So what I do in a reading is I help you understand and conceptualize and apply it into your life. What does it mean to actually wait for an invitation? What does that look like? What does it mean to wait to respond? What does it mean to inform if you are a manifestor? What does it mean to wait out a lunar cycle if you're a reflector, right? What do those things mean, and how do I apply that in my actual like day-to-day life? Great in theory, but I don't get it. And human design uses a very unique language that takes a while to be able to translate. And if you don't spend 24/7 in this, you might read this stuff and be like, I'm out, I don't get it. And so having somebody like me read your chart, I can translate that for you into English or whatever, well, it's English, in a way that you can totally understand. The next thing that, and again, this is basic, is your authority. So this is in human design, this is basically where your decision making happens. So in spiritual worlds, and what we know is that we can't make decisions from our mind. We just can't. Our mind is there for good conceptualizing, for making pro and cons list and all that kind of stuff. But we can't make decisions from there because it's not engaging in the body. And our body is a really, really, really critical resource for us to be able to make decisions from. And I do a lot of work with my clients, teaching them how to get more into their body, how to get out of their overthinking mind and more into their body so that they can tap into their inner knowing, their intuition, their superpowers, which are all, you know, located in from here down. There's a lot of people who have great ideas and who can conceptualize and who are great, great, great thinkers. It's not dismissing that at all. It is simply a matter of recognizing that you can be an amazing thinker, but you are not meant to make decisions from that place. And so your authority is where you make decisions from. And I mentioned earlier on in this video that I have emotional solar plexus, which was that high wave up and down. And what that means for me, and 50% of the population is like this, what was happening in my life before finding this out was that I was in situations, like I'm an entrepreneur and I'm in the online coaching space. And, you know, for a while there were a lot of like really kind of shady sales things going on where people were forcing you to make a decision on the call. And if you don't make a decision, you're not serious about your life and this, that, and the other. And I always felt so much pressure to make instantaneous decisions. And what was happening is I was living my life in this heightened state of, I got to make a decision right now. And if I don't make a decision right now, I'm going to miss the boat. I'm going to miss the boat. I was always afraid that, you know, I had FOMO. I was afraid that I was going to miss out on things if I didn't say yes to something right away in the moment. And what ended up happening was that if I was not certain about something and I went ahead and said yes to that because of FOMO, it was the worst thing ever. It just blew up in my face, right? And maybe you can relate to this. And so what I discovered was with emotional solar plexus, what happens is you need to go through your emotional wave before making a decision on something. So what does that look like? It means, like, let's say I'm presented with an opportunity. Let's say, I don't know, I'm presented with some sort of opportunity, and you know, maybe I have been calling this opportunity in, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's a surprise opportunity that I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And if I say yes in that moment without going through my wave, if I'm in a really great mood and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And then the next day I'm like, I'm in my low part of my wave and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just sign up for? Now I've committed to something without going through the whole entire wave of recognizing, where am I at? Am I at a consistent yes in this, or am I at a consistent no in this? So it might seem like a really great idea when it's first presented, but I need to go through a couple of days of really like feeling in, am I a consistent yes over time, or am I a consistent no over time in this? And this takes practice. And this, I teach my clients on how to know the difference between saying yes out of FOMO, or yes from your truth, and no from your truth, or no because you're scared, right? Because sometimes we say no to things because we're scared. We're afraid to take the leap. We're afraid to make that jump. And so knowing the difference here is really, really important. Every type is going to have a different way, a different authority. So this is now where human design goes from being kind of generic at the top and starts to now funnel down into something that's more specific. Now, the next thing that we would look at, which is getting a little bit more advanced, is your profile. This is your costume. This is how people see you. This is how you kind of roll through life. I'm a 1-3 profile. I'm an investigator martyr. So this basically means that I feel insecure as a general rule. And so I'm always investigating. I'm always asking questions. I'm always asking why. I'm always asking how, so that I can get to a place of security. I can feel secure with something. And my the martyr side of things is experience. I can't share anything with you until I've experienced this. And the reason why I'm so good at the work that I do is because I experience it. I live it. I breathe it. I apply it in my day-to-day life. It is not something that I've read in a book and then I'm like blah, barfing it out for you. I actually truly live my life like an emotional generator. I follow my design. And so I'm able to share with you from an experiential point of view this material. And it brings that like gorgeous richness, flavor to the work that I do, because I'm bumping into life. I'm experimenting. It's extreme market research, right? And so these are all some super high level, but oh my God, life-changing things that if you only did that, it would really change the trajectory of your life. So now you are living more in your purpose. You're living more out of truth. You're living more out of alignment of who you were born to be. That is a massive gift, just knowing that alone. Now we can go even deeper into the cool, like really interesting parts of human design. So this would be in a more advanced reading with me. We would look at, now if you look over here, this is your body graph. And each one of these things right here are called centers. And each one of these, kind of like a chakra, each of them is an energy center. And each one has a different sort of like function in the body of information that it's giving to us and we're giving out. So for example, obviously this one right here is the throat. So what is throat? Throat is all about communication. Each one of these little numbers on here, these are called gates. And this is part of the I Ching, if you're familiar with that. Each gate is a little bit a part of a personality trait within you. And if you have something that is highlighted, like this person right here has gate number 56 right there, okay, activated in their chart. So that is a voice of truth for them that they can rely on. Anything that is open, which shows up as white here in the chart. So this person, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, has 3 open centers in their chart. And this is where this person will be deeply conditioned from the outside world. So for example, this one here is a very big one. This is our will center or our heart center. 7 out of 8 people have this open, which means this is why so many people struggle with willpower. This is why so many people struggle with the need to please, the need to prove themselves, because that is open. And there's no consistency in that. There's no strength in that for these people. And so if they're not aware of that, what can happen is that energy is just open constantly, and they're trying to prove themselves. They're trying to prove how worthy they are. They're trying to they feel like unvalued. They feel unworthy sometimes. And this can really create scenarios and situations. So if we go back to what I was talking about before with the emotional solar plexus, if you're in a low wave and you're feeling unworthy, you might say yes to something because that person has clicked on your vulnerability in that moment and been like, ooh, here's somebody I can prey on, for example, right? Or you might say yes to taking on a project or a relationship or something like that because you are not feeling valued. And so maybe this person is showing you some attention, showing you some love, and it's making you feel worthy from an outside source. And so you say yes to that thing without even really realizing that you're saying yes to this from this shadow place, from this place of needing to feel worthy, right? So this work is so beautiful. It brings up all of the self-awareness for you so that you can start to become way more sovereign, way more confident, way more loving of yourself, and know that, oh, wait a minute, I do feel worthy. I know where my self-worth comes from. And that's where then we look at all the other areas in your chart, like everywhere where there's like something that's colored in, unless you're a reflector, totally different. But anything, so this, for example, like right here, this person has this, what's called a channel connecting this center with this center. This is a very consistent source for this person. So if this person was coming to me saying, I'm not feeling worthy, I'm feeling really low on this particular thing, what I would do is look at them from the places where they have strength and say, we're going to draw your strength from these places. And when they hear that, they really resonate with it. And they're like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense to me. I didn't even realize that that was a sense of strength for me. I didn't even realize that this was open and this was a sense, so a source of sabotage or weakness for me. And everything that is a weakness is also a strength. What I do is I help people turn it into a superpower. And even the strengths also have a shadow. So we look at the shadow and the light of absolutely everything to bring you into balance and harmony, so that when you're going out in the world now, you are feeling very empowered within, because you know who you are. You know what you're here for. You know what your true north is. You know what sabotages are yours. You know what the kinds of things, the behaviors that continuously take you out. And when you understand your type, your strategy, your authority, and your profile, and you bring all of this together into one cohesive understanding, it changes your life in such a profound way. It allows you to go, yeah, this is me. I am me. This is who I am. And I accept who I am, and I love who I am, and I'm going to show up fully expressed as who I am. And human design as a tool allows you to be able to see, lift the veil, see those beautiful, amazing pieces of yourself. And then we get to work on all of the other stuff, right? If you decide to come in to a contract with me, a coaching contract with me, now we get to go into like the nitty gritty and the juicy stuff behind the scenes about, you know, where you want your life to go and how you can get there, and looking at the patterns and the, you know, the shadow material and your desires and all of that, and bringing it to life. It's about animating who you are inside, and bringing up that massive awareness of the shadow side of things, of the sabotage side of things, so that you have that full empowered control over your own self. There's so much more to learn in here. Each one of these right here is a different planet, and each of these planets corresponds with a gate. So again, right, what I said here, this is like that 56, for example, is a gate, and it is showing, where is it? Right here in this person's moon. So this is their driving force, right? And so when you understand that this is a driving force for you, that this right here is what you are here to communicate on this planet, that this is your life force, that this is how you ground yourself. When you start to, and it's on both sides, the black and the red. When you start to understand these pieces, now we're really getting into the nitty gritty of your nuanced self, your purpose, you know, all of the little pieces of yourself that when you do this, you feel so good about who you are. And that further empowers you, that further raises your confidence levels. So I'm going to end this here because I want you to, you know, get the most out of this training and let it sink in to see if this is something that is of interest for you. It has tremendously changed my life in the most amazing, amazing way. And, you know, it's a very useful and wonderful tool for anybody who is really interested in knowing who they are and, you know, making the deeper significant changes, you know, so that you can be your fully expressed version of yourself, right? We all feel that we have some greatness in us. And, you know, if your life is showing up in a way that is different from who you believe that you are, the capacity that you have, and this isn't coming from a pressure of, it's not an achievement paradigm. It's not like you're wrong. This is, you have a diamond inside that has been shoved mud on top of it. It's like the story of the Buddha. I think it was in Tibet, where they were being invaded by an army, and it was a golden Buddha, like solid gold Buddha. And what they did is the monks covered this Buddha, this actual solid gold Buddha, in mud, and so that it wouldn't be defiled or stolen or anything like that. And anyway, so the army came in and destroyed the whole entire village. Everybody died. The Buddha was there, and everybody ignored it because it was covered in mud. Nobody knew that it had any value. And I think it was maybe thousands of years later or hundreds of years later or whatever, the mud started to crack off and the gold started to shine through. And the new monks that were there, you know, noticed that, oh my gosh, there's actual gold under this thing. And they started to chip it off and realized that, oh wow, there underneath all of that mud this whole entire time has been a very gorgeous golden Buddha under there. And that's you. That's you. Underneath all the conditioning, underneath all of the expectations, underneath all the fear, underneath all of the not enoughness, underneath all of those belief systems that keep you small and keep you stuck is gold, absolute gold. And this tool allows you to start to pick off that mud so that you can see your gold. And then when you can see your gold, because other people can see your gold, but sometimes you can't. When you can start to see your gold, man, is that ever life-changing. You make big, bold changes and decisions in your life to allow you to get into your purpose. When you start seeing your gold, it is the best gift you can give yourself ever. So thank you so much for being here. If you are interested in scheduling a session with me, then please see the links below, and I would be more than happy to take you through your design and your chart and help you find your gold. All right, thank you so much, and I will see you when I see you. Bye for now.